Okay, so today I'm going to share with you my top tips and tricks for navigating airports. Just a sec. Sorry about that, I'm back. So like I was saying, sharing with you my tips for navigating airports. Now I have 18 of these, which kind of sounds like a lot, but they're very doable, very simple. And because there are a lot of them, you might want to grab like an apple or something to snack on to keep you company while I talk, and a piece of paper and a pencil to take note on anything that you may want to refer back to. So, first tip, and I've got them all written down right here. Don't want to forget anything that I want to share with you. So I might be looking over here occasionally. But first tip is try and be at the airport 2 hours before your flight is scheduled to leave. Being there 2 hours before leaves you ample time to get through security, and you never know how long security may take. I've been in some lines in and out 10 minutes tops. Others been standing in basically the same spot for half an hour. So it gives you plenty of time to get through security. Also, sorry. Boarding usually starts half an hour before your flight, so however much extra time you have, when you're waiting at your gate, you can use that time to just kind of gather your bearings, kind of reestablish where you're at, and yeah, be there 2 hours before. Second tip, Ziploc baggies. So remember, you can't have more than 3 ounces of any type of liquid, and you need them all in Ziploc baggies for going through security. What I like to do is have quart size because they hold just a little bit more, and then I'm using less plastic bags. I like to have them in my tote. I used to always use a backpack for flights, but lately I've been using totes more. Just because then it's one less thing, one less zipper to open, one less something. So I like having the tote, all of my Ziploc baggies right there. I'm talking as if I have it right here. And when I'm in the line, all of those in the bin through the line just like that. It's amazing. All right, third tip, having an empty water bottle in your tote. Don't want to be paying an arm and a leg for airport food and even airport water. And obviously you can't have over 3 ounces. So I always just have my reliable Swell water bottle. These are actually supposed to keep hot liquids hot for 12 hours, cold liquids cold for 24 hours, and it hasn't failed me yet. Love this thing, take it everywhere. It's taken quite a beating actually. Alright, let's see. Fourth tip, as I like to call it, the art of snacking. First off, don't overpack. If you know that you're a person that just doesn't get the munchies that easily, you may not even need to bring anything. If you do though, I suggest dried fruit. The reason I say dried over just regular is because even an apple, the most convenient thing, sometimes drips and it's sticky and it's a mess and you don't want to be dealing with that. Also something that's not going to crumble a lot. You don't want to be sitting in your snack for the rest of your flight. If that's a 10-hour flight, that's not going to be fun. So I suggest something like nuts or, I don't know, Cheerios. Just something that's not going to crumble. Dried fruit. Definitely nothing with salt. You do not want to be getting off your flight feeling bloated. You don't want to be sitting there feeling bloated. Just avoid the salt, okay? Okay. Let's see, fifth thing. Okay, when you're waiting at your gate, take that time to relax. If you are with friends or family, switch off taking a nap and the other people watching the luggage. Never leave your luggage unattended, but just switch off with them. Have something to kind of just keep your attention, whether that's writing a journal, reading a book, maybe having a sketchbook to draw in as your thing. I just would say avoid Instagramming and Pinteresting the whole time. It's going to be the biggest waste of your time, and we just want to be amazing creative people, so don't do that. Also, another thing I like to do is people watching. People watching is one of my favorite things to do in an airport. You see such a huge variety of people, and it just reminds me how I'm such a tiny person in such a vast and amazing world full of people with different lives and goals and dreams and heartaches, and I just love people watching. I'm gonna leave it at that. Let's see, sixth thing. Okay, so this is an exact science, and I have sort of put it to the test, but not exactly. But when you're getting in line to board your plane, or even get in line to go through security, veering to the left might get you through more quickly. This is because majority of people are right-handed, and that means that they tend to kind of veer to the right when they are in lines, which means left lines may be shorter. So maybe try that. Let me know if that works for you. Obviously, I need to try it again because last time the airport just wasn't that busy, so it didn't really matter. Seventh tip. Okay, if you have reason to celebrate, don't hesitate to ask the airport for maybe some sort of upgrades. If it's a honeymoon that you're heading on, don't be afraid to ask. They may be more than willing to upgrade you or to give you some special treat. I don't know. But it happens, so don't be afraid. Also, with that, still with number 7, if you are a parent traveling with young children and you know the stress of trying to get young kids on a plane past hordes of people, don't hesitate to ask the airplane if maybe you and your children could get on the flight, get settled, and whatnot before other people. Explaining it to the people up front, just politely and kindly, and kind of presenting it in a way saying, this is not only going to be easier for me, but it's going to be easier for you guys and all of the other passengers. They might be willing to accommodate. Tip number 8, take the red-eye flight if possible. Just overall, it's in the middle of the night, so you're going to have less traffic, it's going to be less crowded. Sometimes they're cheaper even. And you can travel while you sleep. So they're just a good option. If it's not possible, then, you know, do what you can. But that one's kind of been a huge saver, both of money and stress in my lifetime. All right, tip number 9. So stocking up. By this I mean stocking up on those little bottles of shampoo and conditioner and lotion that the hotels offer. They're the perfect size for traveling. And saves you a little money. I mean, you're paying for them anyway. Obviously, you don't want to be excessive with this one. Don't be, you know, sneaking out and stealing all the stuff off of the hotel maid's cart. But stock up a little bit. Those are perfect size bottles for future travels. And it saves you from having to go to Walmart or Target or wherever and picking up those empty travel cases. Tip number 10, this one specifically applies to foreign travel. You want to have 3 copies of your passport picture. So what I like to do is have one on my phone. Just take a picture of it so you have it on your phone, because your phone you're definitely going to have you at, hopefully, probably at all times while you are sightseeing and whatnot, but also have a scanned paper copy of your passport in your luggage, maybe one in your backpack. I think those top 3 are the main ones. Top 3 being the 2 print-offs in those different places, and then one on here are the ones that you want to worry about most, but you just don't want to be caught in a foreign country without your passport. And even just a digital or paper copy of it is going to be better than nothing. So make sure you have that. So tip number 11, have a case for your laptop. Something that's going to keep it, I'll show you mine. This is mine. Keep it in my tote bag usually when I'm flying. That is if I'm even taking my laptop. If I'm going somewhere for a vacation, I probably won't even be taking my laptop. But if it's necessary, have it in some sort of case to keep it protected. and from getting scratched and whatnot. Tip number 12, if you wear any sort of eyewear, then you're probably going to want to not wear your contacts on a flight and wear your glasses instead. Airplane air can tend to get fairly drying. It has a tendency to dry your skin. Just imagine what it does to your eyes. So probably wear your glasses for your flight to avoid that, and you'll just be more comfortable. If you really want to be wearing your contacts once you arrive in your destination, just stop by the bathroom once you get there and put them in. But I highly suggest just wearing your glasses. And don't forget your glasses when you're traveling. Even if you haven't worn your glasses and only contacts for 10 years, just bring them, just in case. Tip number 13, wear a couple of layers. Airplanes, I'm so glad that they tend to make them a little bit colder, but they tend to get cold, and if you're not dressed properly, you're going to be a little chilled. So what I like to do is have a colorful scarf just kind of wrapped up and in my tote bag that I have with me on the plane, so if I get a little cold I can put that on. Wearing a light sweater over whatever outfit I'm wearing helps to keep me comfortable on the flight, and I've never regretted doing that. Make sure that those layers are something that you'll probably want to wear continually throughout your trip, so that it's just not extra luggage. Alright, tip number 14. Consider bringing some wet wipes with you for whether during flight you kind of need a refresher, or post-flight if you just kind of need to freshen up a little bit. Wet wipes are a wonderful thing to have on hand. Okay, tip number 15, top it with a ribbon. So my luggage, I like to have a brightly colored ribbon tied to either the handle and sometimes even between the zipper things. I should really figure out what they're called, just to make sure it stays closed. But it makes it a lot easier to spot. Sometimes you don't have the option or the choice of whether or not you're going to check your luggage, and it will make it a lot easier to spot in baggage pickup. A couple of times I've been getting on a small flight and just all their overhead space filled up, and I was kind of forced to check my luggage, and you know, you don't know if that's going to happen to you, and so I was so glad that I'd already had that on my luggage. Tip number 16, have your phone charger in your carry-on. Most airports are probably going to have outlets, like actual USB outlets. I'm looking for mine right now. By the seats, it's kind of, you know, a new fancy thing that they have, and I love it. So keep your phone charged whether it's on low battery or not. I'm not a phone guru, so I don't know if that hurts your battery. If you're worried about that, just turn your cell phone off. But I think it's wise to keep your phone battery at its highest for when you arrive in your destination, as well as having a charged external battery. I got one off of Amazon, and it's good for 3 full phone charges, and I've loved that. And I've even used it to charge my camera when I'm somewhere and it's getting low, and you know, I'm headed to somewhere that I know I'm going to want pictures of, and so I charge my camera a little bit with it. So phone charger with you at all times, as well as an external battery that you have charged before your flight even. Oh, I also suggest not using up your phone's battery while you're in flight. Have something else to keep your focus, because you don't want to be draining that phone battery and then get in your destination and need it for GPS or to contact someone and it be dead. Not fun. Tip number 17, know how you are getting to your destination from the destination's airport in advance. Meaning whether you already have a rental car service set up or someone's picking you up, just know what you're doing. You should probably find out beforehand what the bus schedules are, what the subway or metro schedules are. Kind of have that planned out, even if you are someone that loves to, live by the seat of their pants and loves spontaneity. Enjoy the spontaneity once you actually get to your hotel or friend's house or whatever. Just know your plans. I just like being prepared, and so sometimes I'll even print off maps of how I'm getting from point A to point B, and it just relieves a lot of stress. And then my very last tip number 18, wear circulation socks. They honestly ease your legs of so much restlessness and tiredness. Circulation socks, you can find them pretty easily online or even at a local medical store. Circulation socks, you've probably seen, elderly people or your grandparents wearing them. They do exactly what they sound like. They keep your circulation in your legs going. Mine go up to just under my knee, and from my experience, wearing them on a flight compared to not, it's just a night and day difference. After sitting for so long, you can tend to get very uncomfortable and restless, and your legs even start to ache even though all you've been doing is sitting. Circulation socks help to stop that. Also, if you do tend to kind of retain water when you fly, the circulation socks can help to prevent that and just keep, all your systems flowing, and that's great, and you'll not regret it. And so those are my 18 tips. I hope that they come in useful to you, and I wish you luck in all of your travels. Okay, bye guys. I did want to add that my parents are the ones that got me traveling at a very young age. A lot of the tips that I just gave you are things that I was just raised doing. They're just all I know. And that means that my mom's the one that figured it all out. So I do have to give, credit to her for knowing how to be a savvy travel woman.